Alright, what's up YouTube? I'm back with another video. Today I'm basically going to be telling y'all about the system that we've been put into as Africans. Africans being African Americans and Africans. Now, Africans, if you were to go in the US history book, right? And you were to go to our furthest back history as African Americans, what would it be? Slaves. Now, if you were to go into a world history book and look into the section that talks about Africa, what would you see? You would see shit like lions and shit, and you will see poverty. You won't see shit that's good. So we already know that that shit just has us in an oppressive state, Now they also do that with movies. So they do that shit with schools. Now they doing that with movies. With movies, how do they show Africa? They show Africa as wildlife. They show Africa as poverty. They don't show anything good about Africa. You know, they don't really do that. They just now started doing that with like the Black Panther. I don't know what other movie. Like, I can't name any movie at the top of my head that shows Africa as being very, very good. That was a big-ass movie. You know what I'm saying? And the way that they make African Americans look over here in America is very, like, followers. You know what I'm saying? Niggas that do anything for money. You know, people that go against each other for money. You know what I'm saying? Because African American movies is basically... The African-American culture movies are basically just gang movies, bro. Hood movies, you know what I'm saying? And those hood movies make Africans look at African-Americans as, you know, very, very ignorant, like bad. They just make, like, I'll tell you this right now. An African parent doesn't really like African-American kids because of the movies that they see on how African Americans act, because they're scared of African Americans. Because if you always see African Americans killing other African Americans in these movies, then you would think that your child being an African in America will be more likely to be killed hanging out with the African American kid than hanging out with another African kid that knows how to live. Because, like, it shows that in Africa, it just shows that you have no structure, because it always shows, you know, a black kid with either living with his grandma or with one family member, or a family member on the streets doing crack. Like, it's good for our culture, or it's good for African American culture, because it shows you how far we've came. But if you are an African seeing African Americans living like that, then you would be scared. You would be fearful of them, because you wouldn't want your kids being around that type shit, because that just makes all of y'all look bad. And that's their goal. Their goal is to divide us and conquer us, because from y'all seeing us living in goddamn the wildlife, living in poverty, all that shit, y'all gonna look at us as poor. You know, us seeing y'all living in gangs, you know, not really having structure, you not really living righteous, you know. Because that's what it shows. That's what African-American movies show. It shows you just not living righteously. If it shows African-Americans not living righteously and Africans living in poverty, it's going to divide us. And that's their way of conquering us, because they're fucking with our subconscious. Because if it shows, it's going to make you not really want to go to Africa, because you seeing all that poverty shit and you like, yeah, bro, I'm not really trying to be all around these motherfucking lions and shit. Because when I came over here, bro, niggas was asking me if I was living with lions and shit and hunting lions and shit, but no. So you know, I'm not really trying to see all them lions and shit. And then now, being an African, seeing all this African American shit, you're not really gonna want your kid being around all that shit, because you see them niggas killing each other, you see them niggas going to gangs, doing all these drugs and shit. You don't really want your kids doing all that shit. So what does it do? It makes Africans not want to go in the hood, be afraid to go in the hood. Even though when I ride around the hood, bro, because I have to do deliveries for my dad drinks, and I usually go around that area. When I do, the hood is very beautiful. It's just as beautiful as Africa. It's like this, like, I get the same vibe, bro. It's just beautiful as fuck. But, like, when you see that shit happening in the hood, it's like, as an African, you're not really gonna want your kid to be all around the hood, or be close to the hood, or have any friends that are hoodlums or anything like that. Even though, like, it's, like, I don't know. There's nothing wrong with that to me. You know what I'm saying? Or you being an African-American parent being afraid to just go to Africa in general. You know what I'm saying? So, with that being said, it's just a way to divide us into conquerors. And they also did that with Tupac and Biggie, because I want to go into that as well before I go into the system that we were really put into. But they also did that with Tupac and Biggie because Tupac wasn't the person that we really see him as, you know. Tupac was not a thug. Tupac was an actor. Tupac went to acting school. Tupac was a good kid. Tupac, if you look at old pictures with Tupac, Tupac was always just a good kid, bro. That interview when he was 17, that's the real Tupac. The Tupac that we have making all this gangster rap and shit, that's not the real Tupac. Tupac is an actor, and he was used to divide us as African Americans and to have us as African Americans look very, very ignorant. Because just look at how Tupac acted whenever he came out the courtroom. Whenever he came out the courtroom, this nigga just immediately started spitting. Who the fuck does that? This nigga came out of the courtroom spitting on camera, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, this nigga, one thing, he wasn't even really spitting. It wasn't really spit coming out his mouth, but he was acting. You know what I'm saying? That nigga was an actor. He went to school for acting, bro. So Tupac wasn't the person that he was, and Biggie wasn't the person that he portrayed himself to be. Because his mom even said that Biggie was a good kid growing up, and that Biggie developed that ego, developed the ego of a thug, you know, because that's who he wanted to be. So he developed it, you know, developed it, and that became him. You know what I'm saying? Once you develop an ego strong enough, that will become you. That's why it's good to, like, live ego-less, not putting yourself above anybody else, not trying to be an image that you're not. Just be you, but accept everybody else as well. You know what I'm saying? But with Biggie having that ego, you know, that made him portray himself, you know, as a street nigga too. Biggie always had food on the table. He said that he didn't in his music. Like, his music was just to make us, you know, feel like that was cool. Because those was the two coolest niggas out at that time, bro. And I'll say, because I don't even know, because I wasn't even living at that time, but I'll say 1996 to 1999, bro, was the Tupac and Biggie era when them niggas was just popping. The two coolest black people in the earth. Niggas just looking up to him. Young niggas looking up to him. Seeing niggas like them sagging their pants, wanting to sag their pants too. So, them two niggas were really just actors. The niggas was never like that. Now, how did they divide and conquer us? Or how did they use divide and conquer? Now, I know y'all know the beef. You know, Tupac and Biggie. Biggie in the East, Tupac in the West. Beef. The niggas in the West was saying fuck them East Side niggas. The niggas in the East was saying fuck them West Side niggas because of those two people. Those two people had such a big impact. And the thing is that, like I said, if you're an actor, you're the product of the government. Those two people have the government knew that those two people could have such a big impact on our culture that it caused that conflict amongst ourselves. How do we look, bro? How do we look having conflict amongst ourselves? How do you think that looks to Africans in Africa, having conflict amongst ourselves? That doesn't look very, very good, bro. And that's the way of dividing and conquer us in the U.S. because they put us in these gangs as well. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, so Tupac and Biggie, they not really who they said they were. Them niggas were good kids. You know what I'm saying? They grew up very, very like good kids, bro. So they not who they was, who they said they was. And their goal was just to divide and conquer us, to divide us as people or as black people and have us clashing. Have us clashing, bro. Tupac and Biggie was not the people that we portrayed them to be, bro. They were fake. That's not them. But now going into the system that we were put under, was basically to keep us as far away from our roots as possible. Being very, very disconnected from our roots. Because when we came here on slave ships and shit, it was very, very least likely for you to stay connected with your family, with your mom, with your dad, and if you had siblings, your siblings. So it was very, very least likely to stay connected with them whenever you went to your slave master. So right there, they were dividing us from our family. Dividing and conquer. That's the whole point. The whole thing is to divide and conquer. So they dividing us from our family. And now we got to go to these slave masters and do some shit that we don't want to do. You know what I'm saying? To do shit that we don't want to do. And if we don't do it, we're going to get punished or whipped. You know what I'm saying? Or killed. You know what I'm saying? And that's the same shit that they do today. You know what I'm saying? With jobs. Jobs is really slavery, bro. Jobs is really slavery. When they gave us civil rights, it gave us the right to have the same job as the white man, right? Which made it look good as fuck. But really, it was just slavery all over again, because we were forced to do shit that we didn't want to do to get money. We were forced, the same way in slavery, we were forced to do shit we didn't want to do or else we would get beat. Is the same way right now with jobs. We are forced to do shit we don't want to do to get money, or else we will get fired and become poor. So with slavery, it was either get beat or die. And now it's either be poor or die. You know what I'm saying? So with jobs is slavery too. But, you know, they made money so valuable that you need money to live on this planet. Like, you need money. Like, money is a necessity. Like, you know what I'm saying? Money is very, very essential. Money is mandatory. If you don't have money, then you literally cannot make it in this life. That's how they basically made money. Who's the people on the money, bro? You won't see a black person on the money, bro. So the money, if you, like, that's what it's called, being a slave to the money, bro. When you just working jobs just to get money and not following your purpose, because the whole point was to get us disconnected from our roots. And the more and more connected you get to your roots, the closer and closer you are to your purpose. And another thing I want to get into, bro, because I just thought about this shit and I just decided to put this in this video because it's not a lot. But the music that we listen to can really govern the way you live, bro. Why do you think that when we started making gangster rap, they started making it more mainstream? Because they knew that with that gangster rap, that they could control our minds and make us want to live like them, because we see them gangster niggas coming up from nothing, from doing gangster shit, selling drugs, doing all this extra, like all this bad shit to come up, all this illegal shit to come up, because that's what they be rapping about. They be rapping about doing illegal shit to come up. So it's gonna make us do illegal shit, and that's why we end up going to jails, because we doing all this illegal shit because we hearing these niggas do it. So it's gonna be like, damn, if they do it, we can do it too. Monkey see, monkey do. You know what I'm saying? So we gonna do it too, and then we gonna get in jails as well. You know what I'm saying? They are smart as fuck. Like, the government is smart as fuck how they use tactics and shit. Cause gangster rap wasn't shit before gangster rap. Rap wasn't mainstream before gangster rap. Once gangster rap came out, bro, rap became mainstream. So the music that you listen to can govern who you are. If you listening to low vibrational music, if you always listening to gangster music, bro, any type of color, you will start trying to act more like a gangster. If you start listening to pop music, bro, I don't even know how pop music niggas act like, but you would start acting like a nigga that listens to pop music. You know what I'm saying? So, like, the music you listen to can really govern who you are and how you act. And also, it deals with the frequencies as well, because, you know, there's a frequency, 440 hertz. 440 hertz is a very, very low frequency. It's a very, very low vibration, because music is vibrations. And 440 hertz is a very low vibration. It keeps you at a low vibration. And music governs your chakras. That's why whenever you listen to gangster rap and you try to act like a gangster, it comes up to your 7th chakra, and that's the ego that you want. Not the ego that you was given, but the ego that you want. That's why music can control who you are. So with those vibrations, those bad vibrations coming up to your chakras and coming to your 7th chakra, it's going to make you want to be like that, especially with the 440 hertz. It's going to make you want to be like that. It's not going to make you happy from them niggas coming up from that gangster shit. It's going to make you want to be like that gangster shit. That's how they do it with the 440 hertz. Now, 432 hertz. 432 hertz is getting connected with cosmic energy. You know what I'm saying? Music that doesn't really, it can even be gangster rap, bro, but it wouldn't make you want to be like that. You know what I'm saying? It would make you just appreciate their come up, and it will give you motivation that you can come up to your own way, the same way they came up their own way, because everybody has their own purpose. But 440 takes you away from your purpose, is low vibrational. 432 hertz is high vibrational, and it gets you closer to your purpose, and it unlocks your brain to be able to manifest shit. You know what I'm saying? That's the power of 432 hertz. 440 hertz is very bad. That's the shit that we listen to on Apple Music. That's the shit on mainstream radios. That shit is just bad. So start trying to listen to 432 hertz so that you can start manifesting, you know, your true power, you know. But blessed to all y'all niggas. Love all y'all niggas, man. And peace.